Hello paper crafters, this is Jane Fires, independent coach with Fun Stamper's Journey number 151. Today I want to show you this card here, and it's a technique card, and I'm calling it our fall seasonal card because on this one we're going to do the background with our pan pastels again. We're also, you can see on this card I use this stamp set here, which is in our Holiday Mini, and it is the Zen Leaves one with the die. Now I used two of the leaves here. I'm going to use two different leaves on the card today. I'm also using some of the background paper, and I'll show you that. So this is the type of a card we're going to do today. Now here's another one that I did, and with this particular card I used Autumn Days, which is our other leaf set that has a die with it. And on both of those the words came from this particular set, Hello Fall. However, today, because some of us have fall birthdays in our family, I'm going to do a birthday one instead of the fall greeting ones today. So these are two just to show you that I've already made using different stamp sets and dies and words. So today our stamp set is coming out of our Holiday Mini, and this book is good until the end of December. And this is the stamp set here that I used. Then our cardstock and paper that we used the whipped cream, which for me is a staple. And then we used our card base, which is Hazelnut Blend. And then our paper that we used is going to be this one today, and it comes out of the Falloween prints. And as you can see, these are not only for Halloween, but also for fall time. And so in this particular packet, you get 24 double-sided sheets, so you get 4 of each design. This is our Zen Leaves one that we're going to use today. And it's a small stamp set, which is nice. And it has a die with it, which is really nice for all the leaves and the little berries and things. So you can get this either just as a stamp set or just as a die or as the bundle. And of course the bundle is cheaper. And this is how I keep my stamps and my dies that match each other. I keep them in one of our pouches, and then I print out what page number in the current catalog they're in so that I know where I get them from. The other thing we're going to use today are these little tiny bows. And these are called pumpkin patch bows, and you get 30 of them in a package, so they go a long way. And I think they're very pretty because I have a hard time making that small of a bow, and they are wound in the middle with some thread, so that's why it holds together so nicely. The other thing we're using today for our words is inside out. We're going to use the happy birthday on both the inside and the outside, and we're also going to use the verse for the happy birthday. Wishing you a day full of joy and a year filled with smiles. And then the other new thing that we're using today is our Changing Seasons embossing folder. And I don't know if you can see this very well or not, but you'll see it in a few minutes. This is how it looks once it's embossed. So this is a really neat embossing folder. And then I used, of course, our paper cutter, our trimmer, which I love. It has two things, a blade for cutting, and then it also has the orange one for scoring. So this is one of my favorite tools. The other tool that is brand new that I really like is our scoreboard. And I've done this before and showed you how to make boxes. And this pull-out shows you how to make a box and how to do envelopes as well as a box envelope. And these are a lot of fun to do. The thing I like about it is that it slides right back. It slides right back into the bottom of your scoreboard so you won't lose it. And then of course here's your scoring tool. And we'll use this a little bit later on. The other tool that's brand new to us is our Platinum 6. And this is a light little machine. It's 7 pounds in weight. Its sides pull down, and with it of course you get all of your plates. You get your rubber mat, your embossing plate, 2 cutting plates, and then your base plate. Remember, on the Platinum 6, our base plate does not have magnets, and that's an advantage for anyone that has a pacemaker. Now, our Amaze machine did have magnets, so if you have that machine also, your plates are interchangeable. I'm going to use this machine right away to show you how I embossed. So I'm going to take my embossing mat, my folder, and put a piece of cardstock in it. And get my cardstock lined up where I want it on my folder. Now with this particular card, I'm going to cut my embossed piece down. So my embossed piece right now is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's what I usually use when I do my embossing folders. So I've got my base plate, I have my folder with my cardstock, I'm taking my rubber mat on top, and 1 of my cutting plates on top. And now I can roll this through. Now when I open up, you can see that my seasonal change embossing folder is completely embossed. And they stand up, of course, that's what our embossing folders do. So there's that now. So now what I'm going to do is take my cutting tool, because I want to cut this down. I want this to measure 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. So what I'm going to do to start with is I am going to cut off one side at 4, turn it over, and cut the other side at 3 3/4. Then I'm going to turn it and cut at 5, and then turn it and cut at my 4 3/4. So now there, I'm ready to go with my embossing piece. Now, the very next thing I'm going to use is going to be my pigment, my clear pigment ink, because what I'm using today again are our pan pastels. I'm using Party Pop, and the colors that I'm using will be Candy Apple, Lemon Drop, Citrus Cooler, and Limeade Splash. And like I told you the other day, I showed you how they actually come, but when I store mine, I store them screwed together so that I don't take up as much room in a drawer. And then, of course, like I told you the other day, the tools that you get with this pan pastels, you'd get 5 of the tips, 1 handle, 1 of our big ones, and 1 of our medium ones. So these are the things that we're going to use today. Now you can also buy your soft tools separate, and you can tell I have a lot of handles, so that's what I do. Clear pigment ink. I'm going to take my clear pigment ink and I'm going to run it over the top of my piece that I have just embossed. Now I want to make sure I get a good bit of my ink on here. And the reason, of course, for that is because that's what's going to pick up my color now for my Party Pop pan pastels. So I can do this any way I want to. So I'm going to take my medium sponge and take a little bit of my Limeade Splash, and let's just color this one here in. Now as I color, my leaves themselves will be darker than its background, and that of course is what I want to achieve. So I've done that one in green. Let's go up here and do this one in green. And remember, there's no really right or wrong way to use your pan pastels. You just really want to have fun with them. Oh, and let's put one little bit of green over here. Okay, now I'm going to go on. I'm going to take one of my tools here, and I'm going to go to my Citrus Cooler, and I'm going to do this one down here in Citrus Cooler, and I'll do this one here in Citrus Cooler, and this one up here, and this one over here. Then I'll take another one and do my lemon drop. No, is this lemon drop? Yep, lemon drop. And let's do this little one in lemon drop. Let's do this one in lemon drop. As you can tell, I'm just doing some of them randomly, so it really doesn't matter which leaves you do, which color, unless you need a certain color that you want to use. Okay, and then let's take some red. Let's go in here with my red. Then I want to go back with a little bit of green in here. And a little bit of, now you can tell what I'm doing here is I'm wiping off the back of my sponge. I'm going to go back into my orange and give me some orange here. And a little more orange up here. Okay, now what I want to do, because I have this colored, all the leaves colored, I'm now going to take my medium sponge and I am just going to rub over my entire card. And what that will do for me is blend more of my colors so that when I'm done here, I don't have as much white showing. So there's my background now, done with pan pastels and the clear pigment ink. So now I'm ready to begin putting my card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my base card, which is my hazelnut blend, and I'm going to pull out my score tool, and I'm going to score at 5.5. My base card, of course, is 11 by 4 1/4. So 5.5 I score. I fold it one way and then the other. And then, as I told you the other day, how I do mine is I put it up tight in my left corner, turn my right side down, hold it tight, and I go ahead and I crease it. That way I know that I have a perfect card the way I want it. Stick my tool back in there and set it aside. Okay, now that I finished that, what I'm doing is on the back of my piece that I just did my pan pastels on, in my embossing folder piece, and the back of my paper piece, I am put on my white liner tape, going over it with my bloom tool, peeling off my backing, we'll put my paper piece, my background piece on first, getting it centered where I want it, then taking my embossed piece, peeling off the backing of this one, taking it and centering it where I want it on my piece. Then I turn my card over because it does have my pan pastel, and I just rub the back so that I'm sure I have everything down tight. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is to stamp what's going to go inside. And for this I'm using my ink pad pumpkin bread because it's more of a fall color. And on here I have both my happy birthday and then my inside words. So I'm going to stamp that on my piece. Turn it over again, put our white liner tape on it. This white liner tape is what I love. Peel off my backing here. Now on this piece, before I put it in, I'm going to take my ink pad and I'm going to go over my edges just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of color. Okay, and then take my card, open it up, and again center my words and things inside. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my inside words because now I just want my happy birthday. Re-ink my happy birthday and stamp it because then I will fussy cut it out using our Detail Pro scissors. And you, of course, can do this any way you want to. And then on the back of that one, I will take my medium foam squares and cut some right in half. So that's ready to go on. Now what I've done is I have taken two leaves, and this leaf is from the Zen set that I showed you, and this leaf is from the Autumn Days, and they both have dies. And what I've done is used our clear pigment ink, and then I put on our new copper embossing powder, and then I heat set them with our heat tool. And when you do that, of course, you get a shiny, neat little design. So I'm going to turn these over, and again, I'm going to cut some of my foam squares and put them on the back. So now I can take my card, and before I peel my backs off, I always try and figure out where do I want these to go. I think I want those right there. Then my words will go up here, and my little bow can hold my... So let's put this little one on first. And put him about right there. Peel off the back to this leaf. Put him right there. Now on the back of my bow, as you can see, I've attached a glue dot already, and I just left the backing on it so that all I have to do is pull my backing off, and my glue dot will be ready to adhere to my bow. Turn my bow over and adhere it to my card. So there is a fall birthday card. Very easy to make. Several of us I know have birthdays in the fall, and so here's an easy one to do using our pan pastels, our new embossing copper, and our new folder, Seasonal Change. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Serif, capital S, like in Sam, ERIF1 @AOL.com. Have a great and blessed day.